welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and today we're here with another episode of the Orphan Block Challenge. I could be doing this for quite a while, so it might be our Wednesday staple thing to do. But before we get into this, what we're going to do today, I want you guys to go check out Bobbin with Brittany. I just found her this morning, and I watched a couple of her videos. I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. So it's a surprise shout out. So when you go over there and you check her out, tell her Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. So it'll be a big surprise for her. Okay, so now in the show notes, you're going to find her YouTube channel along with our Facebook group and our Zoom link for our next virtual sew date. Now the dates are there from now until the end of December for the Zoom, the once a month Zoom meeting, and usually it's on the first Saturday of the month. Now the other one is a Facebook group, and we're making use of the room. So basically you have like kind of a 24/7, you know, sewing room to go play in with other members of that group, right? So it's been lots of fun in there, and we're doing a lot of sharing of pictures and ideas and everything else. So if you get in there, it's growing very quickly. But now what we're going to do today is I found a whole bunch more Orphan blocks that were the same. So these Ohio stars, I'm going to show you how to put these together with sashing and cornerstones by webbing. Now this makes this so much easier, and I've already made one quilt that I'll show you at the end. So come on in, let's get the sewing going. Okay, for this technique you need blocks that are the same size, not necessarily the same type, but the same size. And this sashing works great when you're trying to, you know, you have lots of points and lots of fabric and bulk in your block at the edges. Sashing is a great place to put all this stuff together. So you need your sashing. This block is 6.5, and this sashing is 6.5 by 1.5. Now my little cornerstones are 1.5, right? So I mean, it makes this very easy. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to push this out of the way here a bit so we can get started. You put your cornerstone down, and then you put your sashing down, because you're making that very first row. And I know you guys are sitting there like, okay, wait a minute. We're putting sashing along all the outside of the quilt. So this is going to help me keep everything nice. Okay, so now I get my sashing and I put my block down. Now, if I sew my block the other way, I cannot see the points along this edge that I have to meet, right? And if I can't see my points, I can't make my points. So it's harder. I mean, you can make the points, but it's just like a lot more work. So now you're going to try and steer so you make those points. And you can see where the thread crosses when you're close up, right? So you can kind of like, you know, move like that through, right? So the next one is going to be a cornerstone, and because you're putting cornerstones and sashing in between. Now you're going to continue doing this for a while. I mean, let's face it, it's, you know, some of the stuff we do is very repetitive in quilting, and you know, you just got to go with it. I am with these Ohio star blocks. Now I've done Ohio stars in the past, and I will link that. I made these out of the corner cutoffs of binding. So, you know, like you put two of them the same together, and you know, and then you get, you know, a really cute little quarter square triangle. Right, so that's what I was doing. So now, the white on white, there we go, nice little red. Now, when you're sewing the other direction, when we get there, I'll show you what I'm talking about. When we get there, what to do, because I am a firm believer of seeing your points as you're going through this, right? So this is kind of a neat thing to do, and it does take time. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this takes time to do, right? So you know, this, you got to be prepared for this. That's a bright one. Oh, let's get nice, there, yellow. Yeah. This is going to be a very pretty, bright, happy little quilt when I'm done. There we go. Now I'm just going, now this looks pretty bright, but it works. It does work. I had some of this fabric in the other twin size quilt, and oh no, I just sewed that upside down. So perfect time to show you this mistake. How I fix this mistake. What I do is I cut it just like that, and I cut it just like that, and then I pull my threads through so I have good thread. Here we go. And you can use a leader ender to get this. Why is this not coming? Hang on. Oh yes, there it is. There it is. It's just being stubborn. Why is it not coming? Come on, there we go. Okay, so you just start this up just a little bit further up, back and forth stitch, and then you flip it the other way like it was supposed to be. Yes, this is real life. This is real life. Yeah, it's, I'm going to, because some of this is starting to fall, I'm going to push all this up. When I'm doing this, I have a lot of it in my lap, so I've got this bright one. Some of these prints I went through, and I'm starting to eliminate all my low volume 1.5 inch strips, because all my 2-inch strips are now gone. Because that part of this too is to get rid of some old strips that are kicking around that just aren't working anymore. They're simply not working. You know, you gotta move them out sometimes. Put my, this is fun little print, but it does read low volume. There you go. Ooh, there. And we're just about, oh no, we're not anywhere near being done yet. That's okay. Yeah, I found these blocks when I went looking for other things, and I went, oh Lord, I have a whole bunch of these. So right now, what we've done in our Orphan block challenge is any blocks that I have found the same have been put together, right? So we're kind of, you know, we're working our way through this slowly but surely. And I know for some of you, you're kind of anxious about to see how this is all going to go, but I mean, I can only sew so fast, right? And oh, my other black my mom's machine is back from the spa. It sews really well, and I didn't put it on for this quilt because I've got half this quilt sewn already with this machine. And sometimes when you change sewing machines halfway through a project, you have problems. So I decided I did not want problems. Nobody needs more problems. But I will be switching it out after this. Just because I can. Okay. Oh, these blocks are so cool. And I thought, okay, I haven't seen some of this fabric in eons. So I was kind of glad to see it go, but at the same time it's kind of like, it'll make a cute this will make a cute baby quilt. And another cornerstone. Flip this down. There we go. It's kind of a bright and happy pinky yellow thing going on. Yeah, so anyways, the goal here now is to start stripping out the white 1.5 inch strips. Right, so here we go, last block. And now we finish up with our last cornerstone once we get this block. And we do a cornerstone and sashing. Now some people lay these out. I didn't really get that fussy. I decided all I need, a cornerstone and a sashing, all I need for this is them not to have a whole bunch of yellow in one area or a whole bunch of, you know, green or whatever. So I figured, okay, that's all I need on this. I don't need anything else I don't need anything more complicated than that. I'm just going to run a little leader ender through to end my row. Now, when I go to sew this next row, it's going to be all sashing and cornerstones again, right? Because this is the edge, this is the outer edge. So basically I would be sewing a cornerstone and a sashing, a cornerstone, a sashing. But I can't see my little points up here, right? So if I sew it by flipping it like this, all of a sudden I can see my points that I need to make. Now that is something important you guys need to know, because if you're going to do this, you need to know, okay, I don't want to be sewing a bunch of this stuff and not being able to make any of my points, or losing half my points. I mean, you're going to lose, sometimes you end up losing half your points anyways. You don't need to go out of your way to lose them. So I just flip this so I can see what's going on the block, because I know my sashing, because I haven't done anything piecing to my sashing. Now, if I had a pieced sashing that had to meet up with these points, I would be pinning. There. Yeah, I'm just going to clip off that leader ender. There we go. And get another cornerstone, and all I'm doing is putting on cornerstones and sashing now. I hope I have enough cornerstone. So this one's got to flip this way, and then there. Okay. Now, yeah, you line it up, you make your ends meet. There we go. Get another cornerstone. Yeah. It does take time to do all this stuff, right? I mean, and you got to sew it. Once you get all this done, then you sew it the other way. And that's, you know, it starts coming together so beautifully that it's like great, you know. Okay. There. And with a little steering, you make all your points, and and nobody can see that fudging really from the front. Nobody sees it, right? So, I mean, it's a simple way to do this. I'm pulling from one side. I should probably be pulling from both. Oh well. Don't matter. There. Oh, I'm gonna need more cornerstones. So, yeah, I have a pile of cornerstones. I have a pile. Once I finish these little cornerstones. Now this, everybody thinks this is too bright. No, it's not. It will read in this quilt as a low volume, even though it's got bright stuff. But I always try and put that kind of pattern up against something darker. So the black block will look good. And it adds interest. You know, the more fabric you got going on in there, the better it is. So, I'm on my last cornerstone now. And that's the fabric that we made the mistake on. But it's easy to fix the stuff. You just take it out and flip it. Even if I put a block in the wrong place and I see it, and I catch it before the whole thing is sewn together, I only have 2 seams to undo when you're doing it this way. You go, oh, I don't like that. There's too much yellow there. Let's put something else here, or, you know, whatever, right? There we go. And I gotta go grab some more cornerstones. So once I get this finished, I'll show you how to go through to the other end. Okay, going the other way, and how you join this all up. Okay, so now we're just about at the end of, because I've sewed all this already, and now I'm going to show you how you sew the other direction, right? Now you still want these points up on the upside. So what you're going to do is you're just going to fold this under, and you just have to fold a little bit of it under at a time. And you're going to put, all of your seams are going to go where the sashing receives the bulk, right? So the block is going this way, your cornerstone is going towards the sashing, right? So it's always going to line up like that, just to give your points a place to rest. Okay, so we'll just get this, and I'm just going to clip that so I can get a good visual on where that's nesting. Perfect, good. Clip off that leader ender. Now, what I like to do is like to see where I'm going. So with the needle down, I open up a few of these, and I just go through, and I've got that point up, so I'm going to make all my points as I'm sewing along. And I'm going to get that perfect nesting because I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm going to put more of that up. I'm going to push some of that under. There we go. Nice. This fits nice. Now, because these were on a bias, everything fits really well. Because if this, let's say the block is a little on the shy side, there's bias. So it does have a little bit of stretch on the side, and it does feed in beautifully. Now, if you're sashing, if the block are like, a little bit, short, not all of them are going to be short, but a little bit short. Your sashing is on the bottom because you're putting with the points up, right? The sashing is always going to be on the bottom. So you can put the bigger piece on the bottom and ease it in, right? I'm just going to quickly cut a little bit more. And there. Oops, now let's get the next point we have to nest. There, it's perfect. There we go. Nice. A nice nest. There we go. Oh, there. It's flipped. I run away all the time. That's okay. There. Now we're going to have a nice baby-sized baby quilt or couch throw when this is done. It's going to look really good. So, yeah, but this is the easiest way. Now, some people, what they'll do is they'll lay out all their blocks, but they'll leave their sashing up and cornerstones up. Like if it's not a piece sashing, right, what they'll do is they'll just do it that way. And then at least then they have an idea as to where their blocks are going to be, right? Now, we did fudge this a bit because I did so... I wanted to, just enough to show you how this is done, and then go to the next bit. I know. But it does take a while to do this, right? Because you're making every inch, on, like the sashing when it's 1.5 inches. It doesn't seem like you get very far because you got to sew on each side of that 1.5 inch sashing, and you only gain an inch, right? But then when you sew the next row, you gain like 6 inches, right? So. Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. Okay, there we go. Move that up just like so. Now I've got the smaller piece that, now this is sewn counterintuitive because I want to be able to see my points. There, and nice. Got the nesting done, nice. And the last nesting just goes like that and over. Here we go. Now, okay. Now, this is something I want to show you guys. Here we go. I'll just put 2 leader enders through. Quick sewing. It's, oops, there we go. Quick sew through. Now, because the next side that I'm sewing has points, I want these points up. So I will take this work and I'll flip the entire work. So now I've got the bigger chunk on the bottom, right? And I've got the little pieces on top, so I just fold this just a bit out of the way. Okay, and that's how we're going to finish this quilt, just like so. That's very quick. There. Okay, now open up a couple with the needle down. I'm going to just open up a few of them, just a couple, just to get me going. And then, you see how, and you can still see all those points. Like you're not sitting there going, wow, I wonder where my point is. Have I just sewn it off? Right? So, and you can see better because you can steer. Right? Now most sashing with cornerstones, you don't do that flipping, right? Because sometimes, you know, the block doesn't have points that you need to meet at the end, or, you know, this kind of thing. And it's a little easier then for you to maneuver. So you don't, you just, you know, you keep going. You know, but this is like I say, this is one that's fun. And the cornerstones actually help you line up your quilt block. Believe it or not, because once you get this grid work, right, like you can see part of this grid work here. Yeah, once you get your grid work in place by doing a webbing, it just, everything just falls into place. And fold a little bit more out of the way, clip a few more. I'll probably clip right to the end. Yes, I will. There. There. So now I can see everything. There we go. Yeah. These come together so nice. I was so surprised. It took me one day of sewing to do a twin quilt. And this is, like I say, the baby quilt. So it did take me one day of sewing, but then I had a bunch of other running around to do, so I didn't really get the full day, but you know what I'm saying, right? I mean, if I had pushed myself a little bit, I would have gotten all of it done, but I decided, nope, family things come first. So that's where we're at. Okay. There. There we go, nice. Get to the next part that we nest. Yeah, we have some fun fabrics in here. These are just, like I say, they were all cut off from binding. You know how you sew your binding on an angle? Like, you know, like this, and you sew across and you cut this part off? Well, that's what all these were from. This is all those quarter square triangles. That's what I did with them. And I think it turned out cute, actually. This will be a lovely little charity quilt when I get done. And I hardly wait to get past this point because I think now we're at the point where we're just doing blocks. Like we're putting them together that are all random, which that'll be fun to sew. Okay, so now the last one, I want this point up, so I'm going to sew it where I have this flipped like so, and down. Okay, now I'm just going to clip that first one just to get me started. Don't twist your work, because that would be bad. It would be really bad, actually, right on the edge. Okay, so once we get this started and going, I'll meet you at the ta-da moment. We'll have our ta-da moment. But essentially now you know how to do this webbing and you can catch all your points. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so this is our big ta-da moment. This is the baby quilt and this is the twin. I only found enough blocks to make one twin, which is, you know, that's a good size. That's a good size twin. And this is the baby quilt. Now this baby quilt I made a little bit oversized. There's all sorts of colors in there and everything, and it looks It looks pretty crazy, but it'll be fun. And this one will be perfect to go into a toddler bed if, you know, as baby leaves crib, it goes into a mid-sized bed before it goes into a twin bed. And this is also big enough to throw into a playpen or whatever. So this will be a good one for the little ones. Now this one is, I make my twins 5 feet by 7 feet, but this is a little bigger because it's got sashing, but not overly. So it's like, you know, it could be like, I don't know. I'll have to figure this out because these blocks are 6.5, right? So just 4 of them by themselves would be a foot, but I added sashing, so it's like 13 times, I don't know, I can't remember. I have no idea. But they do make, you set your idea as to what your twin quilt should look, how big your twin quilt should be, and that'll work for you, if that works for you. I tend to make mine a little bigger because I use up more scraps. So, now, hopefully, we're now down to the Orphan block tubs. And this one, the next one I'm going to show you is how to, the sorting by size and seeing what you could make just by sorting by size. Now we're going to be sorting these blocks different ways and making quilts, right, as we go, right? But sorting by size is the first one that normally people look at, right? Because you can also sort by color or theme or whatever, but this we're going to try it with size first, right? And hopefully we'll get this pile reduced a lot because, wow, we still have lots of blocks. Okay, so until we meet again, I hope you have an absolute fabulous week ahead. You win Bobbin chicken all the time because I haven't won Bobbin chicken for a while. And I know Bobbin chicken, everybody's asked, what's Bobbin chicken? Bobbin chicken is when you're almost at the end of your project and you win by just having just a little bit of a thread left on your spool of your bobbin, or you lose by having, you know, like 6 inches of thread you've got to now wind onto a bobbin to finish your project. So it's one of those funny little games that quilters like to play. So I hope you have a great week. Okay, until then, take care. All right, bye. My husband and I would love to thank you for all of the amazing people that we have met along this crazy YouTube adventure that we've been having. We do free speaking engagements too, so if you're part of a guild and they're looking for, you know, people to talk and, you know, and chat with, you know, in their monthly meetings, tell them that I'm doing free ones just to help the guilds out because it's been a tough time for the guilds as well. You know, share, like, and subscribe with your friends, you know, make sure that they're, you know, they get the word out on us. That's the best way you can do to help us out. So until we meet again, I want to thank you. Okay, goodbye.